Hi, my name is Joe Quatrevingt. This is my wife, Haylie. We've been married for 8 years.
We have lots of kids, 4.
We have 4 girls. Pray for me. When we were kids, we went to church together, and I was friends with her brother, and I would go hang out with her brother at her house and kind of hang out with her too, I guess. And so we didn't talk for many years, and one night I was on Facebook, and a little bing, little chime came up, and it was Haylie. Started getting to know each other a little bit better, and then she asked me when I was going to ask her out.
It was taking him forever.
So about 2 years later, we had gotten married. We got married at the end of October in 2011, and November of 2013, I had back surgery. And that's when it all started to go downhill real quick. I couldn't work anymore. My job terminated me because my doctor said I couldn't work anymore, so I didn't have a job. Got to the point where we couldn't pay our bills, and then we couldn't pay our rent. It made me hate myself because here I am, I'm a grown man, and I can't take care of my family, and all I can do is lay here.
When I realized that we were no longer going to have his income, I knew we didn't have enough money to make ends meet. I just think of it now as a season where I worked sun up to sundown, because I literally hopped out of bed in the morning and survived through the day. I kept my family alive. Joe needed my care. The kids were still babies. It was never an option, though. God just puts this instinct in us to care for our families, and I'll do whatever it takes to care for my husband and care for my kids.
It just breaks you when you know that you see your wife doing what she's doing, and you see your kids suffer, and because daddy's not there. Why does dad not want anything to do with me? Why doesn't he want to play with me? Why doesn't he want to talk to me? Why does he want us to go away? As a man and as a dad, I wasn't in the mindset then. I wasn't right. That leads up to the first time that I actually had gotten committed into a hospital.
There was just nobody here walking with us through that. And the few people we did come in contact with were not quality people.
Yeah, so I got on medicine, and of course I didn't have insurance, and medicine is super expensive, so we had to add that on top of the list of things we had to pay. And so then we had to start selling everything we had just to make it ends meet. And we're not the type of people that like to ask people for help, so we just did everything we could to make it work. And I just started praying. I was like, God, I can't deal with this anymore. I can't do this by myself. I need you to help me here. My wife's going to leave me. I'm not going to have a family anymore, and I don't want this. And you show me what I need to do to become the father and the leader that I'm supposed to be. And Haylie was like, that's it. We're going to marriage conference. I don't care what you say, you're going. Okay. Him and his wife were speaking, and they were like, well, you should date your spouse. And Haylie looks over at me, and she says, why don't you date me anymore? So she's like, you're going to start doing that. And we're going to start dating each other. And I said, okay.
We had gotten so far from where we were originally that we didn't even know each other anymore. And I knew he was still in there, but he's a little shy. I guess I'm intimidating. I had to dig it out of there. So our first few dates were really awkward, like we had nothing to talk about. How can you have nothing to talk about with your best friend? But we uncovered that, dug through that, and then all of a sudden he wouldn't shut up. I was like, oh, I found you again. There you are. I remembered after those few dates why I loved him in the first place. While we were really in the mud back in the day, I prayed for years for my husband to become a spiritual leader in our home. And I prayed for that and thought, why isn't God answering my prayer? But I think part of the problem was that I was in the way, because I had taken my years of survival mode and carried that over, and I have to carry this family when my husband should be carrying the family, and I just needed to step away and let him lead. So, we did the marriage conference. He became an intern. We both started serving every week, and that's really when he was able to step into the role of the spiritual leader in our home. Well, I love you, and I think it's silly that you ever thought that I would leave because of what we were going through, and one day I'll be old and sick and you'll have to take care of me, so.
I'm thankful for you because you saved my life. Oh. And I don't know where I would have ended up if you wouldn't have come into it, so I'm glad you're here.
Oh, I love you.
Love you too.
He's not a PDA person, so I'm sure that was super weird.
Very awkward.